Hello, my name's Ellie Ingeman.
My name is Maddie Brueggemann.
I'm Olivia Clark.
And my name is Grace Byrne. Today, I will discuss the data summary to begin with. In this project, we decided to analyze the liquor sales in different counties of Iowa, and our data contains information regarding the invoice item, the date, the store number, the name, the address, city zip code, store location, the number of the county number, and the county about the liquor sales. The data set gives the Iowa liquor sales from the dates of January 2016 to June 2016. Two sections of the data set that coordinate together are the vendor sections and the item sections. The vendor number and the vendor name are shown, as well as the item number and the item description. And in addition, it gives the state of the bottle, the state bottle retail and sale, and volume sold in liters and gallons. We are pulling 20,000 variables from February 2016 and looking at this data. And we've created different questions, and we plan to use models from class in order to generate our conclusions. Our research abstract proposal is projected. Our plan was to explore the relationship between the county and number of liquor sales during the time of January 2016 by using the variables county and liters sold to see which county has the largest number of sales. And we also wanted to dig a little further into our findings and figure out which county had the highest sales in liters and which had the highest sales in dollars. And that our plan was for that to allow us to have a thorough exploration and understanding of our data using numerical and categorical variables. We did not use the entire data set because there are a lot of variables that are irrelevant to our research. And so we removed the unrelated variables so that our exploration would be clean, efficient, and easy to comprehend. We chose three main variables that were essential to our research, and those are county, liters, and dollars. Other variables, such as the date of sale, city description, might be interesting to consider, but they were not vital pieces to our puzzle. So we chose the variables that we chose because we thought that they would make our data set as apprehensible as possible. And our team set some goals that we intended to accomplish, and our exploration allowed us to determine the counties with the highest volume of sales, highest dollar of sales, but we also had a goal of taking it a step further and finding, if any, correlation between the two variables in the counties with the highest volume and highest dollar amount of sales. We also wanted to determine if the increase in prices had an effect on sales and try to answer the questions that are as follows. Find the county with the highest liquor sales by dollars, find the county with the highest volume sold in liters, and find the correlation of sales by dollars and sales by liter.
Okay, moving on to the data dictionary. So this was a very important tool for us because we were able to use it when we were cleaning our data, and we were then able to see like what variables we were able to use. So as it shows down below, we had the county number, sales dollars, and volume sold by liters. So this is just a nice correlation of all our variables used. And yeah.
This is our tidy data sets, the CVS file and our markdown file. The original raw data set contains observation from January to June of 2016. And we filtered the original data to only show the month of February. However, over 100,000 observations were still left. So we then decided to create a sample of 20,000 observations, so the data was easier to work with. These are the observations in our cleaned data set. when we originally imported our data into R, the sale of dollar amount variable was incorrectly classified. The variable was being treated as a categorical variable instead of a numerical variable. So for our analysis, we needed the sale variable to be classified numerically. We fixed this problem by changing the sale variable from currency to number, which took away the dollar sign. And after this change, we were able to label the sale variable under its original name. After we imported our data properly, we selected the variables that we needed by using the selection function. And after this, our data was left with 4 variables: the store number, county, county number, and sale in dollars and sale and volume sold liters. We left the variable names the same as the original data set. The next step was to filter out any volume sold that equaled lower than 525. And this left our data with 27 observations and allowed us to find the top selling counties.
So this was an important step in our trying to figure out this project, because we did have some issues at first, like trying to figure out how we were going to narrow down the data set, because it was very large. And so we were having a problem with like R crashing, and it was very hard to get anything to work with that big of a data set. So when we filtered out the volume sold that was lower than 525, and getting those 27 observations that were left really helped us to move forward in the project and really get down to the bottom of our research questions that we proposed.
So these are the graphs that we have. The counties on this graph have the highest volume sold in liters of alcohol during the month of February. And we paid close attention to our top 3 counties, which were Lynn, Polk, and Webster County. The highest sales in dollars by county is the next graph. And this graph shows the counties with the highest sales in dollars of alcohol during the month of February in 2016. And we also paid close attention to the top 3 for the highest sales by dollar. And those counties were also Polk, Lynn, and Webster counties. The next graph that we have is the relationship between volume sold in liters and the sale in dollars. This graph shows that the sales increase, that as sales increase, the volume decreases. With lower sales, there were greater volumes sold. For the summary of our graphs, it gave us 6 numbers from which we were able to better understand our data, and this allowed our group to determine whether or not there was a correlation between sales in dollars and the volume sold in liters. The simple regression line is next. The line of regression gives a clear image and relationship between volume sold in liters and sale in dollars. As volume sold in liters increases, the sale in dollars decreases. And the line of best fit is the last one. The line of best fit shows that as volume sold in liters increases, the sale in dollars decreases. The gray area shows us a possible range of error of the line.
And after all of these graphs that we found, we noticed that there was a common theme that as our volume increased, our sale decreased, and our lines and slopes usually were more downward, like leaning, which helped us a lot with this project because we were better able to understand our data. And then moving on to the multiple regression, we found a multiple regression line, and this was able to give us more of like a prediction line with like many of our counties and seeing like what would happen in these counties. And it's still downward sloping like most of our graphs from the previous section. And then moving on to our full regression. This just was a big summary of data that allowed us to see the importance of each variable in our clean data set. We have very few variables to analyze due to the fact that we cleaned down our data set and reduced our data down to only 5 variables. And this was because of the questions that we wanted to find for our research. After looking at these charts, we determined that the volume sold variable is one of the most important variables for determining sale in dollars. And then we also completed a stepwise regression model, which allows us to see an elimination of a variable in order to determine which variables are least important, and then which variables would give us the lowest AIC. And then following that, we found an AIC table, which helps us see which model had the lower value, and that in turn gives us the better model. And through this table, we saw that the stepwise model was far better than the full model.
Okay, so the analysis, we've been talking about these questions throughout this. So finally, we get to answer the questions. So question 1, we were asking which county had the highest liquor sales by dollars. And our team concluded that the county with the highest liquor sales by dollars was Polk. The top 3 counties that had the highest liquor sales by dollars was Polk, Lynn, and Webster, as we recently just said. Compared to Lynn, Polk was more than double the amount of sales. From these results, we concluded that despite the randomization of the data possibly favoring a county unintentionally, the evident difference of sales confirms that Polk most likely would have been the sales leader from the entire data set as well. In addition, we also use the data to predict that the highest volume sold may look similar. Lastly, if the result differs, it helps us conclude that the price of some counties' alcohol may be cheaper or more expensive than others. And then question 2, which county has the highest volume sold in liters of liquor? The county with the highest volume sold in liters of liquor is Lynn County. This result differs from the county with the highest liquor sales by dollar. As we stated above, the reasoning for this could potentially be credited to cheaper liquor sales. Polk County might have had more sales by dollar, but Lynn County had the highest volume of liquor sold in liters. A question that our team would like to further explore, maybe in the future, is the population of the county. If the population of the county has an impact on any of the sale amount, and this variable was not given in the data set, but it could be found on reliable website to make this analysis. And lastly, question 3, what is the correlation between the volume of liters sold and sales by dollars? Our team found that the correlation between sales by dollars and the volume of liters sold is positive. As the volume of liters sold increased, the volume or the sales by dollars also increased. We originally predicted that at the beginning of our analysis, and our graphs proved our prediction correct. One important thing to note is that not all counties' price per liquor is the same. This result explains the discrepancy of having more sales in dollars despite having less volume of liquor sold. If we were to do a further analysis on this, we would potentially like to look at variables such as state bottle cost and state bottle retail. Finally, we would see how state bottle cost and state bottle retail could affect our conclusion in the future.
All right, that is it. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you learned a little bit more about Iowa liquor sales.